You're in the Business Insurance Zone with me, Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician. This week on The Biz, the Elder Care series, and on today's show, our introduction into elder care with special co-host Dianne McNamara, elder care attorney and consultant gerontologist.
When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm your host, Steve Savant, and we're broadcasting to a nationwide audience of financial advisors right here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, home of America's largest fountain. And today and all this week, my special guest, Dianne McNamara, is going to put us into a whole new understanding of geriatric living. Actually, I'm kind of excited about this because we as an industry are kind of myopic in our viewpoint on this. We look at retirement, yes, we know that. We also look at long-term care, and some, depending upon the client's wealth, we might look at a little bit of estate planning. But after reviewing Dianne's work and what she does as an elder care attorney, I have to tell you, I think we have to expand our definitions. I want to welcome you to the show, Dianne.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Dianne, I want to do an introduction to this because I don't think I'm there. I think I have a narrow view. Why don't you help unpack us? Why don't you unbundle this? Because to me, elder care takes on a lot larger picture than I guess I had my viewpoint on.
Well, and quite honestly, that's typical for people in this industry to be focused on their specific area and not really see what else is out there. And that's one of the jobs I've had to pick up, is to broaden the view. So I view elder care as a very, very broad term covering all of the products and services and benefits that serve elders and also people with disabilities and special needs.
Now, when you say disability and special needs, do you mean in that age group or anybody with disability
really,
and special needs?
That's a great question, and really I view it as anybody with disabilities and special needs, because it used to be where that was viewed as more of a separate group because they did not live as long. The reality was, but everybody is aging, everybody is living longer and needing to access these benefits, services, and products.
Well, I was looking at, it's about a decade ago, Jean Clement from France died at 122 years, 146 days. I mean, she is the Guinness Book of World Records, and there are about, I'm going to say maybe 20 or 30 female teenagers in their centurion life. They're like 113, 116. I mean, we're looking at this, and interesting enough, a lot of our insurance products now, we go to maturity age on life insurance, 121. I mean, we're moving this way. Is this Methuselah marketing? I mean, think about it. I mean, we're really moving into a whole new frontier of human longevity and life expectancy, and this is all part of elder care.
Exactly.
Well, I'm kind of interested because when I think of elder care, I just think of, well, okay, assisted home living, ADLs. Did you qualify? What did you qualify under? No. Nursing home confinement, hospice, a little bit of maybe a mixture of all of them. But as we live longer, I'm suspicious that we're going to have more issues because we are living longer, and are the same culture that my parents had is not the same culture I'm going to have as a baby boomer. So talk a little bit about, because the boomers are the biggest demographic, and that's who we're talking about. And there's huge, and I mean huge opportunity, not only for financial advisors, but it sounds like elder care attorneys as well.
Absolutely. So what we need to be knowledgeable about is all of the options that are out there besides the ones that you named, which sometimes aren't suitable or they're very expensive, and they're less expensive options. So you're seeing a real growth in the home care industry, and that's for non-medical services that can come. They have aides that can come in for a couple hours a day and help with just basic housekeeping, cooking, and some ADLs.
I want to ask you a question, because have we changed in our culture on this? Because I don't think people want to go to a nursing home.
Absolutely, no.
So I mean, you're seeing this extended care, this kind of assisted living at home.
Right.
I mean, talk a little bit about it, because I'm trying to envision what Steve's going to have to deal with here in about 20 years or so.
Well, everybody says, I want to age in my home. I want to die in my home. I want to stay home. Please don't put me in a nursing home. I work with a lot of family members who have promised their mother or their father, Mom, Dad, I'll never put you in a nursing home. So I'm always helping families look for whatever options there are out there. And so I advocate for living and in the least restrictive environment possible. And that's what I hope the boomers are going to be facing with this increase in the number of options that are out there.
Now, as an elder care attorney, that's one thing. I think a lot of our viewers would get that. But this, being a consultant, I mean, your master's was in geriatrics, right? Or
Gerontology.
Gerontology,
Yes.
officially. So why did you go into that? And it sounds like you made a huge and a very good decision, by the way, because the graying of America, over
Right.
half the country is going to be in your area of expertise.
Well, for the first 17 years of my career, I specialized in employee benefits and compensation. And so I saw the life cycle of an employee up until retirement. And at some point, I became very interested in, well, what's after retirement, post-retirement to old age? And that's when I went back and got my master's degree in gerontology, which most people are familiar with geriatrics, and that's the medical side of aging, medical physicians, nurses, geriatrics. Gerontology is everything else that relates to
And
aging.
is that a way bigger picture than just that medical side?
Yes, way bigger. Because it's policy, sociology, psychology, health and aging, ethnicity and aging. And it was very, very interesting because it woke me up to the complexity of the phenomenon of aging. I mean, oftentimes you're dealing with 60, 70, 80 years of family dynamics put into the pot there. And it's endlessly interesting, I think.
When I think of aging, and everybody wants to age gracefully, of course, I'm wondering, is the new 70 the new retirement mark? Are we pushing our frontiers? We're all going to get into this. When we come back, we're going to continue our introduction into elder care, and we are going to see a huge idea that will help you in your practice. And hey, don't forget to go to iuluniversity.com for the best training and education for life insurance as it is as a retirement income play.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Did you know the average 401k runs out of money just 7 to 8 years into retirement? Time Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, and many other publications have warned of the difficulty of saving with a 401k. But what if there was a way to create tax-free lifetime retirement income with no stock market risk? Good news, there is.
Living in fear of the next market dive is not the way I want to live my life.
Why would I go out there and take on risk when I don't need to?
I have a lot less stress knowing I can't lose any more of my retirement savings in the stock market.
Call now to receive your free, no-obligation analysis of what this retirement vehicle could do for you, a comparison to your current retirement plan, and a free video that explains this exciting opportunity. Start planning a retirement you can enjoy instead of worrying about future tax increases and stock market losses. Creating income that will last your entire life is the most important thing you'll ever do. Take control of your future. Call now for your free analysis, comparison, and video.
Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant with Dianne McNamara. And remember, you can order today's materials at thebiz.tv. And while you're out there, click on the backroom technician icon for the Biz blog, where you see all my material that I write on, and they have a 30-day free trial offer. Just go out there, click on it for the best needs analysis and education material that addresses almost every single financial scenario, including some of the stuff we're talking about today. And just a heads up before you move forward with anything you hear on our show, always consult your tax advisor and your legal counsel. How'd you like that? And on top of that, if you're FINRA licensed, always check in with your compliance officer before using any of the docs that we send you. And again, they're all free. You can hop out to our site, thebiz.tv, and we'll send it to you. We're in the middle of talking about elder care with Diana. Diana, we're really talking about in relation to introducing it. I mean, we're introducing a whole new set. I'm thinking geriatrics, okay, medical. Right. Now you said, but everything else, the sociology, the psychology, there's all these other issues, the finance of it, the interrelational, intergenerational activity that goes in family members. So I'm trying to get a grasp on this. Now, when I'm thinking of all the people that are watching our show right now, they're going, well, can I just sell long-term care? Can I just deal with the retirement issue? Would this introduction that we're giving them all this week actually expand their practice?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it should expand their practice, because to look at just the financial, just to look at the long-term care piece of it, just to look at retirement is possibly looking at the client in a vacuum. And I like to view it in a very broad term, expanding that needs analysis to look at the whole person. You could look at it in a holistic way to match up the healthcare needs, the custodial care needs, what functional limitations might there be. On the flip side of the coin, what are still the capabilities of the client, and let's do what we can to maximize those skills and functions still.
But is that beyond ADLs? Because we're on our side of the fence, we kind of understand ADLs as it relates to long-term care and so forth. But are you talking about something broader than that?
I'm talking about that and more. I do believe that to be truly client-centered, person-centered in the services that we are all offering, you really need to have a bigger picture of it, and possibly bring in other consultants or advisors who can fulfill that big picture of the client.
Let's say that I am the financial advisor. I have the financial part for the retirement. I have for long-term care. Pretty much done that.
Right.
I sent them to an attorney to get wills or trusts done, whatever they need to do to parse their assets. Now, what do I need to look at? Because I love this thing, needs analysis. Well, I'm thinking I have a needs analysis for long-term care. I got a needs analysis for retirement. But I hear the way you're talking, I think mine is kind of small and limited. So what am I looking for to expand my practice? Is this area where I could become, it sounds like I'm almost becoming pastoral, because I'm looking at things in a broader sense. I'm shepherding a lot more issues.
Exactly. And it does take a village in a way to really fulfill all of the needs as we age, and never forget the long-term goal here, which is maximizing quality of life for a very long time, which is the scenario we're under now. I think we're limited when we just do estate planning that's more focused on taxes and death.
Sure.
So bring in the family dynamics. As far as the needs analysis, I look at what are all those health issues, what are all the functional issues, who's available to help, what are the elder care services that might be able to come in to play, such as what's in the community, what's available to keep the elder at home for as long as possible. How much is that going to cost?
I just looked at it. You just brought up something important, because I'm looking for as an example, I'm looking for my last home. I'm looking for a retirement home.
Exactly.
And the first thing I started reading about geriatric living, right, was this issue of no more two stories. I mean, I was like, oh yeah. See, I didn't even think along those lines. And can I convert my home that it's a one-story to bringing in support, bars for showers later on when I need it. I don't want to do it now, but there's going to be a point where is my bathroom set up? Is my master room set up for this? Already, it gives itself the ability to change over if I have to do it. And that was, I have to say, that was revolutionary to me in my thinking. Wow, no more second floor. I need to think about how to expand my bathroom to be capable of taking on my needs, and maybe a redesign. I looked at I'm sorry to say this, I looked at the bathtub you can walk in and walk out of. I mean, I never had to think about these things before.
Exactly. Well, there's a whole industry that's building in the construction and home modifications that do exactly that. And you ought to think about it in terms of what's good for an elder person or a disabled person is really good for everybody. And that's kind of the thought in the concept of universal design. Are you familiar with that term?
No, I'm not.
Well, construction methodology is that these modifications that help you as you age are really good at any time. It makes it easier to do your daily activities.
So they're already thinking along these lines right now. Even on your current condition, maybe you don't need any help at all, but maybe this is the way to go.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, when I think about we're preparing this whole set, all this week we're talking about introducing ourselves into elder care, way beyond long-term care, way beyond our normal convention when we talk about retirement. When I think about what's going on, and now that I have now entered into I call it the front end of gerontology. I mean, think about this. I won't, but I could take my Social Security. Woohoo! But I'm not going to do it because I'm holding out to age 70 because I want 8% return on my money, and I'm not going to go ahead and take it out at my age now. That is a huge issue that we're going to have all this week. We're going to let Diana just pontificate all over the place on elder care. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or email me, steve@thebiz.tv. Well, that's the Buzz on the Biz for today. You've been in the zone, the business insurance zone.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.